Go ahead, feel that. The muscle right at the base of your thumb. It's been trained, hasn't it? Conditioned by a little digital icon to scroll, to tap, to double tap, almost on its own. It's a real physical change, all from a digital revolution. So how did we get here? How did one single simple button manage to reshape not just our thumbs, but like our entire social world? Okay, let's get into it.
So yeah, how did this tiny icon completely take over our digital lives? In this explainer, we're going to trace the like button's wild journey, from just a simple idea to a global economic force. We're going to look at its accidental birth, the psychological price we all pay for that little hit of approval, and, what might even come next.
All right, to really get the like button, we have to rewind. Let's go back to a time before it even existed. So picture this, it's 2007. Facebook is absolutely exploding, but interacting with posts, it's kind of clumsy.
So here was the problem they were trying to solve: social efficiency. You'd see a friend's photo or a status update, and you wanted to acknowledge it, but you didn't always have something super meaningful to say, right? Typing cool or nice for the 10th time just felt repetitive, a little empty. The goal was to create this totally frictionless way to just say, hey, I see you, I approve. And on February 9th, 2009, after a whole 2 years of development, that solution went live, and it changed social media forever.
But get this, the iconic thumbs up we all know almost didn't happen. The team actually debated using a star, which was pretty common for ratings back then, or even just a simple plus sign. In the end, though, the thumbs up won. And why? Well, because it's universally understood, it's friendly, it's casual, and it just perfectly captured that simple nod of approval. A tiny design choice that would have absolutely massive consequences.
So the launch on Facebook was a huge, immediate success. But then, something way, way bigger started to happen. The like didn't just stay put on Facebook. It started to colonize the rest of the internet, creating this entirely new system of value. And man, the dominoes fell fast. In 2010, YouTube totally ditched its 5-star system for a simple thumbs up/thumbs down. That same year, Instagram launched with a heart, but functionally, it was a like, a one-tap sign of approval. Even Twitter, which held out for years with its little star icon for favorites, finally caved and switched to a heart like in 2015. Just like that, the internet had a new universal language.
And this brings us to a really crucial idea: the like economy. All of a sudden, social value became something you could count. Your photos, your jokes, your entire online personality could be given a numerical score. And more likes meant more visibility from the algorithm, which meant more influence. And we all know that in the digital world, influence is power.
The sheer scale of this new economy it's mind-boggling. On Instagram alone, users tap that little heart 1.6 billion times a day. Every single day. That's not just engagement. It's this constant global vote on what we all collectively decide is valuable, or beautiful, or funny.
And the engine that drives this whole economy? It's brilliantly simple, and it's baked right into our brain chemistry. Every single time you get a notification for a new like, your brain releases a tiny little burst of dopamine. Yep, the same chemical you get from pleasure and reward. It's basically a slot machine in your pocket, and it keeps us coming back, posting again, and checking for that next little hit of validation.
It was a system designed for frictionless positivity, and it worked. But as it scaled up to billions of people, a darker side started to emerge. That little tool that was meant to connect us was also creating all these new pressures and new anxieties. We'll dive right into those consequences in just a moment.
So while this whole like economy was booming, researchers and just, regular people started noticing some really troubling side effects. This constant, nagging need for digital approval was starting to spill over, and it was changing how we behaved in the real world. We kind of entered an era of, let's call it, performative living. Life became less about the actual experience and more about how that experience would look to this invisible, judging audience online. The question in our heads shifted from, am I enjoying this moment? To, will people like this moment? This became the subconscious mantra of the social media age. Every post was a quiet little request, a plea for affirmation from the digital crowd. And silence, or worse, a low like count, could feel like a very, very public rejection.
By the mid-2010s, the scientific data really started to catch up with what we were all feeling. Study after study began drawing these really clear lines, connecting high social media use, especially that like-seeking behavior, with serious mental health issues, anxiety, depression, and that endless toxic loop of social comparison.
Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. We've all felt it, right? That little sting when a photo you really loved just doesn't perform well. That almost uncontrollable urge to just delete it, to hide the failure. It's a nearly universal experience that just shows how deep this system of validation really got its hooks into us.
Eventually, the criticism got so loud that the platforms themselves had to do something. The very companies that built this whole like economy started to wonder if maybe, just maybe, the numbers had gotten a little too powerful.
So in 2019, Instagram did something pretty radical. They started this huge experiment, hiding public like counts. Now, you could still see how many likes your own post got, but for everyone else, that public scorecard just vanished.
And the official reason they gave, according to a director of Facebook, was all about lowering the pressure. The hope was that by taking away the number, we'd all focus a little more on the actual content and a little less on how popular it was.
The reaction to this was completely divided. For a lot of casual users, it was like a breath of fresh air. The pressure was finally off. But for influencers and brands, people who literally built businesses on those metrics, it felt like the scoreboard was being taken away mid-game. It just proved how central the like had become to both identity and commerce online.
And that brings us pretty much to today. The simple like button, it's not the only game in town anymore. The whole conversation around what digital engagement even means has gotten way more nuanced.
You can really see the evolution pretty clearly. We started with the simple yes or no like. Then in 2016, Facebook rolled out reactions. You know, the heart, haha, wow, sad, and angry faces, basically admitting that human emotion is a lot more complex than just a thumbs up. And now we're in this whole new era of hidden metrics, questioning the very foundation of the like economy itself.
But the legacy of that original thumbs up, it's absolutely undeniable. The icon has literally broken free from the digital world. We talk about liking things in everyday conversation. You see the thumb on signs in coffee shop windows? It is literally in our muscle memory, and it's a part of our shared cultural vocabulary.
You know, the like button was designed to answer a really simple question. But after more than a decade of completely rewiring our social interactions, it leaves us with a much, much bigger one. It gave us a tool for amazing connection, but also a scale for constant comparison. It built a whole economy on approval, but it also created an epidemic of anxiety. So when you look back on the entire revolution that it started, do you approve?